Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the hashtag 12 months of Christmas. So today I am making crackers. So I've already made 6 here, and I've got 2 more to make, which I thought I would make with you. Now there is an earlier video in this series where I showed you how I make the cracker bases, but basically it's an A4 sheet of card, or it could be 12 by 12 cut down at 4 inches, and I score it at, let's see, can't quite remember, let's see, I score it at 2, 4, 8 and 10, more or less. And then I with this inside I fold a mountain and a valley, and you get this scenario here. So maybe I score it at this one as well. Yes, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. That's right. So basically you want to have this on the inside of your card. You want to have this sort of shape, and then you just cut out triangles all the way along, which gives you this shape. Do that on both sides. Now I have stuck my cracker snap here because they tend to fall out, so I like to stick mine in. And I have got some sticky tape here, double-sided sticky tape, not a lot, just a small amount. You don't need it, or you could use glue if you prefer, but I like it just because it just helps me to put them together. Okay, so I've got my hats. So I'm going to put a hat, a joke, and a present, and then you just roll it up. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to line the edges up first. So if you line up the edge so that that's straight, and line up this edge so that is straight, the middle bit should be straight as well. Okay, so there we've got the basis of the cracker. And I've got some ribbon here which I've cut to 30 centimeters, but that's up to you how you cut it. And if you want to do a bow, you need to have one side slightly longer than the other, to just for that first initial tie. And then I just tie a bow like so, and the same on this side. Just make sure it just gives, if I make them one side longer than the other, it just makes an even bow. Otherwise you have one end much longer than the other and you have to neaten it up. So it's just a time-saving trick. Okay, and do it as tight as you can, because I'm doing this on camera. It's not happening very well. Okay, let's try again. So it isn't easy in this deep thing. I mean, what you can do is just tie 2 knots and have a bit of wider ribbon. With a wider ribbon you can do that. Tie 2 knots so that it's secure, and cut it off, and it looks like a tie. So there we have a cracker ready. So I'm just going to do one more, and then I'm going to switch on my heat gun because we're going to glue on the decoration, which again I have made in a previous video of this in this series. Don't know exactly when it was. I should perhaps have gone back to check, but if I remember I'll link them in the description box. I just switch my glue gun on. Right, so we'll take off the double-sided sellotape. So I have used paper from a 6x6 pad, but you don't have to use that. As I said, you can use card, you can use A4 size, anything that's A4 size or 12 by 12, and you cut it down. I'm trying to find a joke that I haven't put in already, because these I'm making 8 crackers for my friends for Christmas, and I don't want them all to have the same joke, of course. Right, okay, so that is that. Of course, you can buy hats and jokes already printed. You know, you can buy cracker kits, but I get my jokes off the internet. There's a free template that you can get. So I think my friends must be fed up with the jokes because they're the same every year. Perhaps I should be a bit more adventurous. But anyway, as I've got to make nearly 100 crackers, speed is of the essence at the moment. So so this is the first order. I had an order for 8, and I've got an order for 35, and then another order for 40, and another order for, it'll be 11 and 6, 17, maybe more, maybe 20. So, and who knows what else might pop up in between. I'm just going to redo this one. So here you can see I've got one end much longer than the other. So, so I'll just make sure that they are not equal. And then the longer edge is the one I use to make the tie. And then here we are. So that's better. Okay. So now I've got these toppers that I've made, which I'm just going to stick on the front. I didn't switch the heat gun on after all of that. So while that's heating up, I'll just show you how to make the hats. Okay, so you just need a standard piece of tissue paper, you know, that you get in ordinary packets. I need to clear this a bit and give it space. And depending on the size of people's heads, you need more or less all of the tissue paper. Okay, so along the narrow side, this side, I at about 2 inches or 2.5 inches, 3 inches in, put a bead of glue. Put a bead of glue, like so. Just run it along. Okay. Again, you could use sellotape, double-sided sellotape if you wished, but I find it doesn't stick well to tissue paper. You know, it pulls away. So and then you just put the other end of the tissue paper along where you've put the glue in a straight line, like so, and cut off this bit of spare tissue paper. So we'll just do that. Cut that off. Sorry, my desk is really cluttered, and I don't have much space, but I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so right, so cut that off. You don't need that bit. And then you just make sure that this is folded nicely flat, like so, and then you just fold it up to the crease, and then again. Now you can cut it at that point, but I like to cut it at the next point. So it's like that. And then, well, I get 8 out of one piece of tissue paper. So I cut it in half and then in quarters, and then on the diagonal. Okay, so cut it in half. So I've cut that one in half, so I just cut that on the diagonal. And the same with this one. Cut that in half and cut that on the diagonal. And I'll show you what they look like in a minute. Okay, so there we are. So if I open this out, we have one that looks like this, and we have one that looks like this. So they are quite similar, aren't they? Yeah, yes, they're similar. So there you have it. I mean, if you want to do a wavy line along that diagonal or something else, then that's up to you. But that's how I make my hats. Right, I think this should be ready by now. So I'm just going to use some hot glue down there. Of course, that would stick, and then just stick that on like so. Okay. As I say, I will, if I remember, I'll try to link the previous videos where I did all of this, in case you've missed them. But I did do them quite early on in the year, just to have them ready. So I just stick them on, and there we are. That is them done, all ready to go to their new home. Oops. Oh dear. Getting in a mess. So I tend to use the paper, if I'm using 12 by 12, the strip that's left over, I cut into circles, and then I use those as the base for my decorations, just so as not to waste anything. So okay, that one, and I should have two more. So that is those 8 done. So that's great. It's one thing I can cross off my list is these 8, and then and I can start again with the next set. Just enough just enough glue in my pen. It's wonderful. And there we have it. So let's just move all of this away and line them up so you can see. So I tried, for these people, I tried to use matching papers from the same paper pad, just so that it would look nice on the dining room table. And I've got 4 green ribbons and 4 gold ribbons, so I think they will make a nice set. So thank you so much for watching. I hope I've given you some inspiration for making your own crackers. You don't need to put in a snap if you don't want. You know, I mean, some people don't like the snaps, but because they still, you know, you can still pull them open without the snap. So that's up to you. So thank you for watching. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely day, and now it's only a month to Christmas. So I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.